Centremaps video. We're at Groundsure headquarters today with Marc Harries, and we're looking at the Groundscreen dataset at the moment, which is a reasonably new addition to the Groundsure range of data.
Yeah, so it's been a long time in the making. It was actually a collaboration between ourselves and the BJS. It was born out of an arm of the government that funds new innovation. It won a Brownfield Award as an early decision assist tool to basically screen for potential contaminated land, but it also gives remediation costs as well. The costs come from the Homes and Communities England. It's a really visual, exciting tool to use. It consists of 57 datasets, so it's a condensed down version of the GIS data, which would be 170 datasets, but it can be styled to be colour-coded, so you can look at really any size of area, and it breaks it up into quarter-hectare hexagons, which can be styled to be colour-coded, so you can look, when you load it all up, you can look at your 10 hectares or 100 hectares, and you can see easily which is got more risk for contamination. So yeah, it's a very visual tool. It's a really good innovation, and we're really proud of it, to be honest.
Yeah, and that quarter-hectare granularity, even sort of fairly modest site, can give you variation across that site, can't it? So
yeah. So you could have a site that's 1 hectare, and you can have different colours technically in every part. It just depends what it picks up. So it goes through a list of data sets and kind of answers yes/no questions, and then gives you an output based on all them different data sets. It's really good for the remediation part as well, because it can help you actually design your site. So if you have 10 hectares of land and you know 3 hectares is in the red, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of pounds to remediate, you could just redesign your site slightly to move your car parks around and keep your remediation costs down, and ultimately make your site more profitable in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other interesting is it gives you the chance to think about what type of project you're working on as well as where's the car park area you're talking earlier about, whether it's industrial, residential.
Yeah. So with the outputs for remediation, it gives you 3 different outputs with different risks. So if you can imagine, if you were going to build a residential area with lots of gardens and children, that's going to cost a lot more to remediate than an industrial site with lots of car parks and very limited connection to the humans, basically, when you think, which all of our customers always relate to the conceptual site model. So if they can have a bit of contamination, and if they can screed it and car park over it, then that keeps the risk down. It's really good as well for people to test their appetite. So if they're thinking that they've got 3 sites, they don't know which one they want to go for, it might be a large house builder, and they're trying to decide where to focus their efforts or their appetite for risk, then they can choose, or they can screen and decide which one to go for.
In terms of those visual risk profiles, it's helpful that there's immediate styling that you can apply that's kind of as recommended by Groundsure, but we were talking about earlier the GIS data, you can actually sort of adjust that if you've got a particular risk aversion to one type of remediation that's needed. You can dig into the data a bit further.
Yeah, if you style it, and then on there you can look through all the yes/no questions, and it'll tell you which they are, what isn't.
Yeah, it's right. I think when you just see the visual of the hexagons, that's very powerful. But it is interesting to start dipping in and seeing the amount of attributes behind that data that, as you say, points to the fact that how much is going into it.
So each hexagon contains 57 datasets. So you can look at it broken down, but you can also look at it as a whole site. If you wanted to look at the whole site and check the risks for the whole site, you can do that as a whole site, or you can have it broken down into more granular sections. It's a more wide tool, really, because it could have a lot of different uses for lots of different people. I think like architects can use it well, or people who buy land, or the house builders, because they arguably have the best use for it, because they can screen, and if they like it, they can buy the land. If they don't like it, they can move on and buy somewhere else. So yeah, it's got a lot of different uses for lots of different people.
Yeah, and it's exciting actually to see whether people get hold of it, what they are going to do with it. And I think we've talked about it previously with Groundsure reports generally, the fact that there's yourself and the team here at Groundsure that will support people that are working with, whether it's a report or these data sets, to get the most out of it.
Yeah, with everything we do, it's the people behind it.
Thanks, Mark. Well, it's definitely a data set that's worth getting samples and starting to familiarise yourself. And do speak to us if you're unsure how to get started on that process. But you will find the option on the interface to mark out your area and grab the data straight away. And as always, there's all the other data and reports for supporting any kind of site development. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again, Mark, for the...
Yeah, thank you.